So here's the eBay Amazon sales closet inventory. I don't know, a few of you might remember how a couple, 2-3 days ago I told you that this right here was an absolute guaranteed seller. Well, it sold, of course. It just sold on eBay. So here's Dave Hurwitz talking about what I just showed you. I think he posted his video 5 hours ago, and he must have sold. I must have sold that disc right at that time. What? Look at this. There it is.
An orchestra and an organ in a great sounding room where the balances are right. It is one of the most difficult works to record that anyone ever invented.
There he is with the Sanson disc that I just sold. So I say there's always a correlation between what he covers and what I end up selling. So before I start the usual ramble of the day, and what is our day? We are on the 23rd of April, 2024. I want to talk briefly about something called what I call the Hurwitz effect, or more specifically the David Hurwitz or Dave Hurwitz effect, where I end up selling an item from my eBay sales inventory right after Dave Hurwitz talks about that music or that recording. That happened today. A couple days ago, I said I'm going to list this item and it will sell like very shortly, because it always does. But I got a boost today thanks to Dave Hurwitz, who has a channel on this platform, YouTube, where he talks about classical music recordings. He's the best guy doing it, of course. Anybody who knows classical music and YouTube will already know this. So today he talked about the Charles Munch recording of the Saint-Saëns Third Organ Symphony, or the Third Symphony, aka Organ Symphony. Has two other pieces on it, La Mer by Debussy and also Port of Call, Escale by Jacques Ibert. It's a great RCA Living Stereo CD. Here it is. I sold this today. Dave Hurwitz put a video up about this recording today at approximately 12 to 12:30 p.m. Before 1:30 p.m. was over, this sold out of my inventory. This has happened at least 10 times where I have a recording, sometimes it sat on eBay for months, maybe even years, and Dave Hurwitz talks about it, and that day, that hour, and maybe even that minute, it sells. That happened today. I have no doubt that that's a correlation, or that's a causation that actually happened. It's happened too many times for it not to be a thing. So thank you, Dave, for getting the word out there and keeping me in bread a little bit. So I'm going to make chili. And there's the delicious chili. I do think it's a real thing when Dave talks about something, the sales of that item go up on Amazon. I think he may even have made mention of that or reference to it in the past. And, you know, it's such a small market. I have no doubt that if he talks about a classical recording, which in the larger scheme of things is an obscure recording, even if it's a relatively famous one, if he talks about it and a few dozen people don't know it or get interested in it, that's going to sell. A few dozen copies of a classical disc is kind of like, I guess, a Taylor Swift level of sales in the classical world. So that's the Hurwitz effect. It happens to me, I benefit from it, and I enjoy his channel anyway. I enjoy classical music. I have an enormous collection of classical discs. There's some of them. There's more of them. There's some more down there. So yeah, I have a collection, but I also sell stuff, and I enjoy that. And if any of you have ever bought anything from me, thank you very much. I'll be selling more. I have hundreds for sale in my eBay cabinet. That's that. Now here's the rest of what I shot today. Those of you who are here for Dave Hurwitz related content, you can go enjoy yourselves. I love you. Please have a fine life and day. Thank you. So today at half price, I picked up something for $1. Got some Mozart symphonies, 3941, and the Marriage of Figaro Overture with Leonard Bernstein and the New York Philharmonic. I'm not keeping this. I only paid $1. I'm going to sell it. Leonard Bernstein also sells very well on eBay. Picked up this very interesting book by Ralph Ellison, the author, called Shadow and Act. This is kind of essays on black culture, his observations about being black and black culture in America, black arts. This one's not a common one to run across. I'm probably going to sell it, even though I kind of want to have it. I think currently have a copy of his great novel, Invisible Man, which I read a couple of times. It's such a masterpiece. You know what, I was reading this, hold on, I gotta get my glasses. So I was looking in here, and I was flipping through it, and then I came across something that I find rather interesting. This little introduction in here where they quote a review from Newsweek. I just want to read you the first sentence and see how this strikes you. Ellison is an infighter, a classy, light, heavyweight, good with either hand, and very fast on his feet. Now, what strikes you as kind of odd about that statement, talking about a black author? They're comparing him to a boxer, right? I mean, I don't think Newsweek was consciously being racist, or I think they were trying to be charitable in more ways than one. I think a lot of the idea about Ellison at the time was that he wrote one great book and everything else after that was kind of lightweight. And I think that's why they compare him to a light heavyweight. They want to be charitable and say this is a really great book, but also to remind people that he's a light heavyweight. He's not a real heavyweight. But the idea that they compare him to a boxer, that's inherently racist. Let's be honest. That's kind of like, you know, this is how black people are normally perceived in society, especially white society, as sports figures, right? So let's compare them to one of those. Let's make that our simile. And again, I don't think Newsweek was being overtly or consciously racist. That's the thing about it. When people talk about unconscious racism, that's a perfect example. A lot of people don't want to see it. And here it is served right in a silver platter, right there to see if you want to see it for what it is. But people are in denial. And of course, I don't know, this review was probably written in the 60s. It's kind of interesting though. And I've got a PDF copy of this book. I want to keep it, like I say, but it's kind of worth a little bit of money, and I'll probably sell it. But I got this for $1, and this is a 1966 printing, I think. The copyright is 1953 and 1964 by Ralph Ellison. But anyway, that's an interesting thing to come across. Hey everybody, we're in a new location, the food closet, the Civil Defense Nuclear War Emergency Food Closet. Actually, this is just our everyday provisions. We have, you know, got your soups, you got your veggies, beans, whatnot, some more beans down there. Got your mayo, got a bunch of tomato sauces in there, spices up here, baked goods, baking things, whatnot. Had to put these in here, you know, as mouse protectors, because we did have a little mouse run here about 3-4 years ago, and they got crazy, and we had to put things in there, but we haven't seen any since then. Today at Kroger, I picked up 4 bags of Seattle's Best No. 5 whole bean coffee. Got them all in here. These were $6.79 for 2 bags. It was buy 2 for 1, and they were $6.79. So basically, what, $3.40 a bag? So I'm like, well, shoot, I've got to get 4 of those at least. That was only like $13 for 4 bags of coffee, which is a great price right now. The other day at Aldi, they had a big reduction on these tomato soups, which are quite good, honestly, for what they are. 45 cents a piece. You know, Campbell's is like $1.30 at Walmart for just a can of tomato soup. So this is basically almost 2.5 cans for the same price, or maybe 3 cans for that same price, and there's no significant difference. Really the best kind of commercially widely available coffee out there, Seattle's Best No. 5, deep, dark, rich. And I drink it black. I don't put anything in it. I don't put sugar, I don't put cream, don't put whipped cream, don't put cinnamon, don't put, you know, marshmallows, lollipops, gummy bears, anything. Coffee is, the bean must be savored, people. Grow up and drink it properly.